Hi, welcome back to my revival. This video is about the pros and cons of my diet. A pro is that it's really easy. I'm not shopping, prepping, chopping, cooking, menu planning. I'm not doing any of that. I tear open a packet, I shake it up, or however I prepare it, and I'm done. It's so easy. Thank God, because when I first started, I could barely move, and there would have been no way to do all that work and keep up with the kitchen and keep up with the cooking. And so, thank God it's easy. That's a real pro. A con is that they only have so many flavor food packets. And if you don't love all of them, or even like all of them, often you tend to sort of eat some of the same ones. And so, depending, especially on how long you're on the diet, that can get kind of old. It gets repetitive. And plus, the shake, water bouillon, you know, that's repetitive too. So, that gets a little old. Um, I also surprised myself by learning I missed chewing. I didn't expect to sort of have that psychological discovery, but one day I just realized I hadn't eaten a banana in a year and a half, or I missed crunching into a piece of toast or a sandwich. Then I realized those were carb based, and that maybe because this diet just gives you just about enough carbs to think. If you're running a little hungry, sometimes you want carbs, so then you eat a packet and then you feel better. But sometimes it hits me. I really haven't chewed much in a year and a half. Excuse me. A pro. I am not hungry. It's amazing. I've been on diets before. You've heard me say it. And I have to tell you, I always feel deprived. I always feel hungry. There's an aspect to, yeah, I'm not eating other foods right now. So in that sense, you might miss eating a banana. But I do have to say it's awesome to not actually feel hungry, to sort of sit down and watch a show or lay down and not think, man, I'm hungry, if I could just eat, but I'm on a diet. No, I don't have to think that way because I'm not running hungry. I think, but I don't know. Look into it. I think it has something to do with being on the ketogenic diet. When you're on a ketogenic diet, as I understand it, the ketones in your blood are working at eating your fat stores instead of eating the carbs. I'm not sure. Look into it. But I think there's an aspect of it that helps you be less hungry. And again, I'm not a medical professional and I have no idea. I'm completely guessing. But either way, I am not running hungry, and I would suggest this for anyone who has struggled on diets to stay on them, because it's hard, because you're thinking, well, you're eating fewer calories, so you're running kind of hungry, and that is not my case. So I love that I'm not hungry. A con is the actual meal replacements themselves. I don't like the flavor. I don't like the texture. For me, it's not a resounding endorsement from me on that, but I'm not sure what else they could do. They're not really horrible, and you can kind of doctor them a little sometimes, but I just decided I was going to make do, and they're not, disgusting. They're just not my favorite. Some people like them. And if you don't like bouillon, and I don't, that's something to consider too, because you do, of course, as I said in my last video, have to eat that. A pro is the staff. They're awesome. They will high-five you in the hall when you've lost weight. They'll cheer you on. They'll give you a hug. They are really encouraging. I had a doctor dance when I hit a weight loss goal right in the hall. It was fun. And that leads me to another pro is the classes. I am learning so much in these classes. In my opinion, I think if I'm successful at keeping the weight off after losing the weight, it'll be because of the classes and the teaching I've gotten. Period. And I just think it's been invaluable to me. However, mentioning value brings up my next con, and that is the financial cost. It has to be expensive to run a medical clinic and pay doctors and behavior specialists and staff, clinical staff to take your blood pressure and check you in, and it has to be expensive to do all that. So I get it. But it's a little expensive. That's a con. And my insurance has helped me with the pay on this, because it helps in preventing, if you lose weight, you help prevent them having to spend a lot of money on your care later, right? So they encourage it. They are helping to pay for it. But just as with so many people struggling with insurance, even though I'm on good insurance, my insurance deductibles have gone up and up. Even now, we're in April of 2018, and just today, I think, will be the next time I go in, next week, I think will be the first day I've finished paying my deductibles, so my cost will finally go down. But you have to know, it's a bit costly. Some people end up having to take time off because they can't pay for it. It's a little bit expensive. I'm just thankful because I didn't see a way that we were going to be able to budget for this, and God's just really made it possible. We have a cat. I've told you about him. He's trying to get on my lap, and I'm trying to tell him, not right now, kitty. Another pro, the speed of my weight loss. It's why I picked the program, pretty much. Besides that, I got a good feeling about the place. It said that I should probably lose about, not probably, but on average, people tended to lose when they're following the diet about, I think the pamphlet said like 4 to 5 pounds a week. And I ended up cruising through. I lost much more than that. And I have continued to do well. It's slowing up now, and they kept warning me that it will slow up as you get close to maintenance. But when it actually does, it's a bit of a drag when you've been flying, flying, not just sort of tapering. I would lose 7 pounds in 1 week, or I could lose 6 pounds in a week, the cat fur has just blown all around me. Excuse me for being distracted. So anyway, I really love that it was rapid, because I thought it would take 2 to 2.5 years, and right now I'm just going into my just over 1.5 years, and I'm nearly done, depending on how long my body wants to hold on to those last few pounds. Somewhere in the next 2 to 4 months, it looks like I could be done with the weight loss part, and that is earlier than projected by me. So that was exciting. The speed is exciting. The other pro that I can think of that's really important to me is that it's science-based, not trend-based. You really get into the macronutrients, you get into, behaviors, even you can get into genetic behaviors and things like that. And we have an exercise physiologist on staff, and you can meet with him to work on an exercise program or what you'll want to do when you go to maintenance, or you go and I'm going to get my body comp to work done to see when I can go to maintenance relatively soon, in about 20 pounds or so. I'm going to go and see when maintenance will be for me. So I love that it's so science-based. I love it. Also, I didn't mention water in my video about describing how I'm losing my weight when I talked about my program. I didn't mention besides the packets and the bouillon, I have to drink a good amount of water a day, probably more than you. Even if you're drinking a pretty healthy amount, I don't drink an obscene amount. But I do have to be committed to drinking water every day. So, and not just like carbonated water or flavored water or sugarless flavored water. I have to get in regular water and then I can get in other water. But carbonated water doesn't count. So even like bubbly mineral water doesn't count towards our water. And neither does caffeine. So herbal teas are okay. What water you mix with your packets and bouillon are okay. But yeah, that I guess you'd say is a con. So I was trying to end on a pro, but unless you love water, and I never did, but I'm learning to get used to it. So that's about it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I could also use some encouragement about if these are the kinds of videos you'd like to continue to see, or if you'd like to know about something else on my channel that I could get into for you. Let me know for future videos. I could really use the feedback. I appreciate it. Thanks.